friends, welcome back to another episode of Hello Friends. My name is Kyle. I know what you're thinking. Kyle, how many times are you going to reboot this show? It's a reboot. Welcome to episode 25, Interpersonal Issues, season 3, episode 4. If you haven't seen the show before, my name is Kyle, your host. We got the Hello Friends t-shirt. We got the full, you can see this in full display now. Mr. Robot wall canvas controls an illusion, as we know. The Mr. Robot hat, of course. This is a review of every episode of Mr. Robot. We are on season 3 of 4 here. We're going to give a White Rose Award, which is going to be the favorite actor or actress. We're going to give a score, and then we're going to do just a quick recap of the episode. So jumping right in there, guys. The plot is an illusion here. This one we start with a subway ride there, and Darlene is on the train, and we got her with the infamous the hearted glasses there. Everyone's kind of passed out there, and Darlene goes up and she's talking to this girl, and she's like, give me back my wallet. I know you stole my wallet. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, no. She's like, you stole my wallet. She's like, everyone here is like passed out. She's like, you're going to like a party. She's like, I know it was you. And then she's like, just give me the wallet. And the girl caves, and then she's like, there's a Polaroid in there. She's like, take out the Polaroid, and she's like, give me the Polaroid. So she gets the picture back, and then Darlene is like, okay, thanks. And she starts to walk away, and the girl's like, don't you want your wallet back? And she's like, no, because I already stole from you. And she's like, and those guys down there, she's like, I stole from them. She's like, the 5'9" hack? She's like, that was me. She's like, all this mess. She's like, it was my fault. Just straight up telling, like literally admitting to the hack. So Darlene is just like kind of over this whole mess. Like she's been in hot water for some time now. It's funny that she literally like admits to these things, and it's just kind of like people think she's nuts basically. But she's, what she's saying is true, and she's like, oh, and I murdered a girl. And it's like, she sure did. She murdered Madam Executioner. She knew she had a heart problem, and she buzzed her right into the pool there. So that's really cool. Carly's really good in this episode, really throughout. So that's kind of the opening. As we remember last episode, there was Dom and then her like right-hand man. They bugged the safe house there, but Elliot fished, like sent them an email or a phishing email because he thought it was going to Tyrell. They thought it was going to Tyrell. Elliot actually found out the safe house, so Elliot's in there. We kind of pick right up where that left off last time, and Elliot goes in there. He like breaks into the building, and then they're freaking out. They try calling Darlene because Darlene's on her way back. They're like, the cover's going to be blown, and Darlene left her phone there, which is crazy, but you were like wondering, did Darlene do that on purpose? But Dom goes out of the door at the beginning, and she like really quick, she's like, hey, Elliot's coming, Elliot's in your apartment. She's like, play it cool, don't look at me, like it's all gonna be good. And Elliot and Darlene are talking there, and Elliot puts down like an audio scrambler, so they have no audio, so they can speak freely here for at least a little bit. Dom like went for a walk or something, I don't know where she went, but basically they're talking, and Elliot's like, no, it's me, and she's like, that's pretty fucking complicated coming from you, dude. Like you saying it's me. And this whole episode just kind of continues like this, the struggle between Elliot and Mr. Robot, and they were kind of working in harmony at the beginning of the first couple seasons, and now it's like, they're clearly going against each other, which I've talked about in the past, and that's what this episode is kind of all about. So, which is why I wanted to call it interpersonal issues, because, man, we have a great scene coming up in a little bit. But I don't want to jump too far ahead there. So basically, there's like a nice moment where Darlene is like trying to trust Elliot again, and they've kind of been. Darlene obviously has been a traitor. She has a line later on in the bar where she says like, I'm tired of being a traitor. I just want to be a normal person for 2 minutes. But it's nice because like she remembers that like this is her brother, and she knows the danger that Elliot's in, and she knows the danger that she's in, and she says later on, again, not to jump ahead, but she's like, I have immunity, but that means nothing to me because like I'm going to lose my brother. And it's like Darlene has already lost their dad. We think about Elliot's dad and Mr. Robot, but what we forget is that Darlene is the sister. Like it was her dad too. It wasn't just Elliot. And so like she's lost the dad, she's lost her boyfriend, Cisco, obviously to Dark Army, and it's like, man, she's got Dom's, like the FBI's got her, so she's like basically held hostage, and it's like, yes, Darlene, did she bring it on herself kind of with the 5-9 hack? Yes, but like F Society, who like was like indestructible, and they're like, we're gonna get all these plans. That plan has gone to shit. You know, they're in hot water. I did have an episode I labeled F Society because, man, it just started to all crumble, and it, like you can see the like just things continuing to kind of snowball as we go later on. But yeah, we get some more Irving, Bobby Cannavale's Irving, of course, Red Wheelbarrow. He's like got a scene later on with Angela where he's like eating the wings and he's like, ribs for breakfast. He's like, I know, but he's like, so good. They're so good. Bobby's always awesome in that role there. This is what I think like is more of a filler episode. We see it kind of focuses on Elliot and Mr. Robot kind of again struggling, going against each other. There's a great scene where Darlene, we find out that Shayla's apartment, like all her stuff was moved out, but he's like, the landlord never changed the lock, so that's where Elliot goes. So there's a really cool scene where Darlene is like looking through the peephole, and she like sees Elliot. It's like 2 a.m. There's a kind of a sad scene where Darlene's like looking for Budapest prices, and as you remember, Cisco right before he died said like, you know, let's just get out of here and go to Budapest, and she's like, well, let's do the job first, and then obviously like Cisco died, so that's bittersweet. You know, she's like, what could have been there? But she looks out, it's Elliot, it's 1:30 in the morning. She's like, this is no good. And then when she looks back in the peephole, it's Mr. Robot. And then like, this is where it really hit me, where it's like, man, like she's really got a brother that is like, they see that it's Elliot, it's the same person on the outside, but it's just like a completely different person. And like for the audience, it's easy for us to see, yeah, this is Rami or this is Christian Slater. But it's like, if you think about it, you put it into context, it's like, that's Elliot, that's the same person, and like they don't know, everyone around him, like they have no idea if they're talking to Elliot, if they're talking to Mr. Robot, what's going on, what he's doing. They have no idea, because they see the same person all the time, but obviously the mannerisms are way different. It's like a different person, so that's what makes the show so good. But yeah, there's a cool tailing scene where Mr. Robot's going, he meets up with Angela, and then they meet underground with Tyrell Wellick. And this is cool because Tyrell's freaking out, and we get like classic Tyrell where he's like breaking shit in the background and smashing shit, and he's like, the whole operation is ruined. He's like, Elliot has been working at E Corp during the day, and Elliot's just like fucking the whole plan up, where he's been derailing everything. And it's cool because Tyrell is like yelling at Angela, and Mr. Robot is there looking at the computer, and it's like he's like finding out about what Elliot's doing now, because like before they were like one and the same, and now Mr. Robot says like he doesn't see what Elliot sees. So they know that Elliot has been like delaying, he's been like saying that the paper records have been delivered, but actually like rerouting them, so none of the paper records are going to the New York City building. So Elliot has like single-handedly been stopping the attack here, and they're freaking out. They're like, we have to do this attack. And Tyrell is like, I knew we couldn't be trusted. He's like, I thought we were gonna be gods, but I can't trust you. And then Mr. Robot's like, you know, you can talk to me. And Tyrell's like, oh, what does that even mean, dude? I don't even know. Like, I've been with you the whole time, and part of you is fucking up this whole plan, and part of you is continuing the plan. And he's like, which one is it? He's like, I don't even know which Elliot I'm talking to. And it's really, really crazy. But Mr. Robot's there, and then like Angela's there, and Angela's kind of like the connecting piece between everyone. But she's now met with like Irving, she's now met with White Rose, she's now been closely connected to Philip Price. So Angela is like this connecting piece. So it's interesting, it's always interesting to see, she's always just kind of there. Like, you know, she was there when Tyrell called Dark Army, so she knows about Dark Army. Like she's woven into Dark Army, she's woven into E Corp, Tyrell Wellick, like she's working with everyone really. And so it's kind of weird because she's just kind of in it. She obviously worked with F Society, and now she's just like, wherever there's a big scene, Angela's there. And I'm kind of like, I don't know, I love Portia, but I'm just like, how did you get connected or trusted with this? So, I don't know, Angela's got ambition, so I don't want to rag on her too much, but she says, Mr. Robot's like freaking out, and he's like, looks like he's about to pass out, and there's like the glitchy effect there, and Angela's like, oh, he's here, like he's coming. And Elliot like wakes up, and then it's like Elliot is suddenly there, and they don't know like what to do, and he's like, why is Tyrell here? Why is Angela here? And like he shouldn't be seeing those people. So we'll get into that obviously down the line there, but that's a good scene. So not too much happens. I don't want to spend too much time. I think I might be skipping over some parts, but again, like I said, this was more of like a filler episode. I feel like not like last week where I thought it could have been like a series finale or season finale. This one I think was a very good episode still, but just kind of moved the plot along. So Darlene eventually goes back at the very end of the episode. She puts the picture, which we find out is a picture of the whole family at the beach, which will come into play later. Spoilers. And so she puts that back on a shelf, and Elliot's not home right now, but basically Darlene is trying to reconnect and save Elliot, and keeping close tabs on him. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on now. There's a lot of different threads. There's a lot of pieces, but not too much happens. There is, I think I touched on quickly, a good scene at the bar where Darlene is like talking to Dom at the bar, and you know, she's like, hey, I want to know, but Darlene's like, I just want to know about you. She's like, I'm tired of being a traitor. I want to be a normal person. And Dom's like, I don't do this social thing. And she's like, look, she's like, get me a drink. I'm sick of this shit. And they're like, you know, how's your last relationship? And Darlene's like, it didn't work out too well. She's like, you were there, remember? And Dom's like, ah, shit. You're totally right. Yep, your boyfriend got gunned down, and I was definitely there. So it's fun to see this little like back and forth that they go explore that relationship a little bit. So yeah, I mean, Dom says that she is like on again, off again with someone, but we clearly know she's single, and she's like referring to her Alexa kind of, and it's like she doesn't just say she's single, she's kind of trying to put up that wall, but Darlene's like she sees right through it. So their relationship is fun, but yeah, I mean, just kind of, again, this episode kind of moves it along. Not a bad episode, but I think probably the weakest one of season 3 so far. With that being said, for a score for this one, I'm going to give it an 8.3. Again, not a bad episode, but just nothing super crazy. We saw more of the struggle between Elliot and Mr. Robot, and that's always fun to see, but we have seen that. We know that's kind of what the show is about, but I didn't think we got too much in terms of like Dom's character didn't develop too much. Irving is always fun to watch, but he was kind of just there. He does push Tyrell. We do get a scene where I skipped over where Tyrell's like, you know, I want to get the baby monitor. I want to see like my wife and kids. I haven't seen them in like 3 weeks. They must have switched like the Wi-Fi. And obviously we know that, you know, his wife and child are not alive. And so it's like, obviously Tyrell doesn't know that, but the only way for Tyrell to get the paper records done over the weekend, because Dark Army is like, we have to do this attack Monday. Everything's going to happen Monday. Tyrell's like, it's too suspicious if we get everything. And Irving is like, Tyrell, he's like, if Elliot couldn't get it done, he's like, you are a god. He's like, you need to get this done. And Tyrell's like, the only way I'll get this done is if I have the full power of the Dark Army, and I need to see my kids. I need your word. And Irving is just like, he knows, takes a minute, and he just knows that he's lying to him, and he goes, okay. And Tyrell just believes him, because he's like, this needs to get done. So that's crazy, because Tyrell, obviously, like, when he finds out about his wife and his child, it's not going to go over well, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, the cinematography good, the score good, but it wasn't like, usually when in Mr. Robot, a couple of the great episodes, there's usually, and I feel like last episode had like 4 or 5 of these moments where there's like the music builds, the cinematography's going, there's like things are picking up quickly. The music was good, the score was good, the acting is always phenomenal, and the cinematography was good, but like I didn't think there were any shots where I was like, wow, and there were no scores where I got like chills. Or like goosebumps watching, like, so it was a good episode, but I think the weakest one so far of season 3, so I think an 8.3 is still a good score, but it's not compared to coming off the high, especially of last week. I don't think it really holds a candle to that. For the White Rose though, this is Darlene's episode, man. It's Darlene's episode from the beginning. Carly Chaikin, if I'm saying her name right, hopefully I am. If not, I apologize. Man, she's such a good actress, and we don't see enough of her always. She always plays like the silent but tough type, but she's having a rough time, and she does a really good job of hiding that. But again, she lost her dad just like Elliot did. It was her dad too. We need to remember that. And man, she's like, I got no social life. My boyfriend is dead. My dad is dead. I'm gonna lose my brother. She's like, I got nothing, man. She's being held hostage basically by the FBI, and yes, that was her fault because she was in the 5'9" hack, and you know, obviously they didn't cover their footprints enough, but Darlene is still human, and she's like, she kind of sees like, you know, we wanted to start a revolution, and she's like, now we're just in this fucked up world, and she's like, my life is over, and it's like, it's hard because it's like, what are you living for really? And you know, I'm sure we see Elliot's depression all the time, but like we don't see Darlene's depression really, because she hides it. She kind of puts up the exterior. So it's interesting to see, like, we forget how bad Darlene has it too. So but yeah, Carly is the White Rose Award winner. She's the best one in this episode, I think. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That's another episode of Hello Friends. I think this is a probably shorter episode, but thank you guys so much for joining me. Go check out the other episodes. We're cruising along with season 3 here. Good stuff. Can't wait to get to the end. I know I'm gonna cry at the end again, but super excited because I've only seen this. It's only my second time watching, so I know I've said that probably every episode, and I feel like a broken record. But maybe I'm in an endless loop. Who knows? That's probably too much of a spoiler. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for checking out Project Potter. Go check out the other content on the channel. We got some new shows going up there. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, guys. Until next time, goodbye, friend.